The starship Celestial Dawn hovered above the purple skies of Zeltaria, a world of crystalline spires and floating gardens. Lisa Morgan stood at the observation deck, her heart racing as she prepared for first contact. The tall blonde woman adjusted her uniform and took a deep breath. This was what she had trained for all her life. Commander Kate Wilson approached with a datapad in hand. She was shorter than Lisa, with dark curly hair and serious eyes. The Zeltarian royal delegation will arrive. In 10 minutes, she said. They requested to meet our human representatives specifically. They seem very curious about us. Lisa nodded nervously. Ever since humans had discovered faster-than-light travel, they had encountered many alien species. But the Zeltarians were different. Advanced, beautiful, mysterious, and possessing technology beyond human comprehension. They had reached out to Earth offering knowledge and resources, but insisted on meeting humans in person first. The delegation arrived in a shower of light that materialized on the deck. Their skin was pale blue with subtle patterns that shifted like clouds. Their eyes were large and completely silver without pupils. The tallest among them wore an elaborate headdress of living crystals that hummed with energy. This must be Princess Ilara, thought Lisa. The alien princess stood nearly 7 feet tall, her movements graceful and fluid as if she were floating. The other Zeltarians moved with similar grace but deferred to her with subtle gestures, greetings. Human, spoke Princess Ilara, her voice melodic and strange. We have observed your kind from afar. Your species fascinates us. You are so young, yet you have achieved so much. Captain Diane Foster stepped forward, a seasoned space veteran, with gray streaks in her auburn hair. We are honored by your presence, Your Highness, she said. We hope this meeting will be the beginning of a prosperous relationship between our peoples. The princess tilted her head, studying them with those unsettling, silver eyes. You are so different from us, she observed. Yet we share similar dreams of exploration and knowledge. We believe there is much we can learn from each other. The formal introductions continued. Lisa watched carefully, noting the subtle body language of the aliens. They seemed both cautious and intensely curious. Their eyes lingered on human hands and faces with particular interest. Then it was time for personal introductions. Lisa stepped forward and bowed. As instructed, I am Science, Officer Lisa Morgan. It is an honor to meet you, Princess Ilara. Extended her hand in the human gesture they had obviously studied. My people do not typically engage in physical contact, but we understand this is customary for humans. We have prepared, accordingly. Lisa reached out and took the princess's hand. The moment their skin touched, Princess Ilara began to tremble visibly. Her silver eyes widened and the patterns on her skin swirled rapidly in blues and purples. The other Zeltarians moved forward in alarm, but the princess raised her free hand to stop them. I am well, she said, though her voice wavered. This is merely unexpected. Lisa started to pull away, concerned she had committed some terrible diplomatic error, but the princess held her hand firmly. Please do not be alarmed, continued Princess Ilara. This reaction is not negative. It is simply overwhelming. When they finally separated, the princess seemed to collect herself, though the patterns on her skin continued to swirl rapidly. The other humans looked concerned, but Lisa was fascinated. What had just happened? Later, in the private conference room, Captain Foster addressed the elephant in the room. Your Highness, we noticed your reaction to physical contact. Was that painful? For you, should we avoid it in the future? Princess Ilara made a gesture that might have been a smile, though her face was not designed for human expressions. Not painful at all, Captain, she said. Simply intense. Your species emanates something we can only describe as emotional energy. When we touch you, we can sense your emotions, your thoughts, your very essence. Lisa leaned forward. But why would that make you tremble? The princess turned those silver eyes toward her. Because, Officer Morgan, humans feel so deeply, so intensely. Your emotions are like a storm compared to the gentle rain of our kind. When I touched you, I felt your curiosity, your fear, your hope, your determination all at once. It was like standing in the heart of a star. The humans exchanged glances. This was unexpected. Most species they had encountered found humans primitive or simplistic, not overwhelmingly intense. Princess Alara continued, "We have technology, resources, knowledge to share. But what we truly seek from humans is to understand how you feel so deeply yet function. We have evolved to suppress emotion, seeing it as chaotic and counterproductive. Yet you embrace it. And despite, or perhaps because of it, you have achieved remarkable things in such a short time." Lisa thought about this. The aliens saw humans as emotionally powerful creatures. Perhaps this was why so many species had been wary of Earth. This was the first time someone had suggested human emotion might be a strength, not a weakness. Over the following days, the human crew worked closely with the Zeltarian delegation. The aliens were particularly interested in human art, music, and literature. They seemed mesmerized by simple things like laughter, tears, even arguments. Lisa spent hours with Princess Alara explaining human emotions. The princess was endlessly curious, asking about love, grief, joy, anger, all the feelings Zeltarians had evolved to control and minimize. One evening as they walked through the ship's garden, Lisa asked, "Why are you really here? Your technology is centuries beyond ours. You don't need our resources or protection. What do you truly want from humans?" Princess Alara stopped beside a flowering plant from Earth, gently touching its petals. "My people are dying, Officer Morgan," she said softly. "Not physically, but spiritually. We have extended our lifespans, eliminated disease, built wonders, but we have lost something vital, something you humans possess in abundance. The ability to feel deeply, to connect, to find meaning beyond logic and efficiency." She turned to Lisa. "We believe humans might save us from ourselves. Your species walks a dangerous path. Emotions can lead to conflict and destruction, but they also drive you to create, to love, to sacrifice for others. We have forgotten how to do these things, and without them our civilization has become empty despite all our achievements." Captain Foster stepped forward, her face showing no fear. "This meeting is sanctioned by both Earth Command and the Zeltarian High Council. We are well within our rights to be here." The Vorchan commander hissed, his sharp teeth visible. "The Zeltarians have resources that belong to us by right of conquest. We will not allow humans to steal what we have claimed." Princess Alara moved into view of the communication screen, her presence commanding attention. "The Vorchan ship has no authority here," she said calmly. Her voice had changed, becoming colder, more formal. "This sector is under Zeltarian protection. Your presence here violates 3 separate treaties." The Vorchan seemed taken aback by her appearance, but quickly recovered. "So the rumors are true?" He sneered. "The mighty Zeltarians hiding behind humans now. How far your kind has fallen. You have 10 minutes to leave our space," said the princess, each word precise and measured. "Otherwise, we will consider this an act of war." The screen went dark. Lisa looked at Princess Alara with new eyes. The princess stood tall, her face expressionless, but the patterns on her skin moved rapidly, betraying her inner turmoil. "Will they leave?" asked Captain Foster. The princess turned to her. "I do not know. The Vorchans have coveted our technology for centuries. They fear us, but they also resent us. They may see this alliance with humans as a sign of weakness." Commander Wilson checked her sensors. "They are powering weapons," she reported. "They don't seem to be leaving." Captain Foster ordered battle stations shields up. All non-essential personnel to secure areas. Lisa stood by Princess Alara, uncertain what to do. The princess seemed lost in thought. Her silver eyes focused on something distant. "What is it?" she asked. The princess looked at her. "The Vorchans believe we have become weak because we seek to reconnect with emotion," she said. "They have always seen feeling as weakness. They believe our interest in humans proves their point." On screen, the Vorchan ship moved closer, firing warning shots that dissipated against the Celestial Dawn's shields. The human crew, prepared for battle, experienced but outmatched. The Vorchan vessel was twice their size with superior firepower. Princess Alara stepped to "The command console, Captain," she said. "May I contact my ship?" The Zeltarian vessel had remained in orbit around the planet, maintaining a diplomatic distance. Foster nodded, and the princess sent a brief transmission in her native language. Moments later, the ship's sensors detected movement. A small shuttle departed from the Zeltarian vessel, moving at incredible speed toward the celestial dawn. Within seconds, it had docked. "What are you doing?" asked Foster. "Bringing something we need," answered the princess. The bridge doors opened, and two Zeltarian guards entered, carrying a crystalline device that hummed with energy. "Place it there," ordered the princess, pointing to the center of the bridge. Foster looked skeptical. "What is that?" "A defensive measure," said the princess. "Nothing that will harm your ship, I promise." The Vorshan commander appeared on screen again, his patience exhausted. "Surrender the Zeltarians to us now. Humans," he demanded, "or we will destroy your vessel, Captain." Foster stood firm. "We will do no such thing," she replied. "This is a diplomatic mission protected by interstellar law." The commander laughed, a harsh sound. "Like all primitive species, you hide behind laws when it suits you," he said. "The Zeltarians have something we want. Something they have kept from the galaxy for too long. Their emotion suppression technology. With it, our warriors would be unstoppable." Lisa looked at Princess Alara in shock. "Is that true?" The princess did not answer. Instead, she placed her hands on the crystal device, which began to glow. The patterns on her skin accelerated, moving like lightning now. "I need you to trust me, Lisa," she said softly. Then she turned to Captain Foster lower. "Your shields." Foster stared at her. "Have you lost your mind?" "Please," said the princess. "You must trust me, against all logic." Foster gave the order. The shields dropped, and immediately the Vorshan ship locked weapons, preparing to fire. Princess Alara closed her eyes. Her hands pressed firmly against the crystal. The device pulsed with light once, twice, 3 times. The bridge crew watched in confusion as nothing seemed to happen. Then the Vorshan ship stopped, its weapons powered down. The commander appeared on screen again, but something had changed. His face, once twisted with anger, now showed confusion, fear, uncertainty. What have you done?" he stammered. His crew behind him seemed similarly affected, some weeping, others laughing hysterically. "I have given you what you wanted," said Princess Alara, her voice strained. "With effort, I have removed your emotional suppression." The commander fell to his knees, overwhelmed, tears streaming down his face. I remember," he whispered. "I remember feeling." The princess turned to Lisa, her own face showing strain. "We did not create technology to suppress emotion," she explained. "We created technology to contain it. When our people decided emotions were too dangerous, too unpredictable, we didn't eliminate them. We bottled them, stored them, and now I have returned to the Vorshans what they lost long ago." The Vorshan ship drifted powerless, its crew incapacitated by the sudden return of long-suppressed feelings. Princess Alara stumbled Lisa, catching her before she fell to the deck. Lisa was stunned. This advanced alien species envied humans. This went against everything she had expected. The princess reached out hesitantly. "May." Lisa nodded, and the princess took her hand again, trembling, but not pulling away. "I can feel your surprise, your wonder," she said. "And something else. Something warm directed toward me." "Is this what humans call friendship?" "Yes," Lisa said, smiling. "I think it is." The princess trembled more intensely, but her silver eyes seemed to glow. "It is beautiful," she whispered, "so chaotic yet so perfect." The next day, Lisa found herself invited to a private meeting with the Zeltarian Council. 5 elder aliens sat in a semicircle, their skin patterns moving slowly, like deep ocean currents. Princess Alara stood at the center. "We have been observing your interactions with our princess," said one of the elders, a female with intricate silver markings on her forehead. "We find the connection between you fascinating." Lisa felt suddenly nervous. "Am I doing something wrong?" "No," said the elder. "You are doing something extraordinary. Something we had thought impossible, you are teaching her to feel. Princess Alara stepped forward. The council wishes to propose something unprecedented. Officer Morgan, she said. They wish to establish a cultural exchange program. One where selected humans would come to Zeltaria to help us rediscover emotion. And in exchange, we would share our technological knowledge with Earth. Lisa looked at the council members, their silver eyes, unreadable. Why me? Why humans? We are considered primitive by most galactic standards. Another council member spoke, his voice deeper than the others. That is precisely why we have observed many species in our exploration, some more advanced than your kind in technology and longevity, but none feel with such intensity. None embrace emotion as a strength rather than a weakness. None create art with such passion. It was true. Lisa realized. Many alien species they had encountered viewed human emotion as a liability, a primitive trait that should be overcome through evolution. The Zeltarians saw it differently. They saw it as something precious, something lost. The first elder continued, "We were once like you. Long ago, our ancestors felt deeply. They created great works of art, music, literature. But as we advanced, we began to see emotion as inefficient, chaotic, dangerous. We engineered it out of ourselves generation by generation. Now we live in perfect harmony, perfect efficiency, perfect emptiness." Captain Foster was skeptical when Lisa reported back to her. "It sounds too good to be true," she said. "They just want to give us advanced technology in exchange for teaching them how to feel emotions." Lisa shook her head. "It's more complicated than that. Their civilization is dying, Captain. Not physically, but spiritually. They can live for hundreds of years, but they have forgotten how to find joy in living. They see something in us, something they lost." Foster frowned. Earth would jump at the chance for their technology. But are we really qualified to teach them about emotions? What if we make things worse? Lisa had no answer for that. Human history was full of emotional disasters, wars, hatred, prejudice. But it was also full of love, sacrifice, and compassion. Could they really teach another species how to feel without passing on the darker side of emotions? That night, Princess Alara invited Lisa to observe the stars from the ship's dome. The princess stood silently for a long time, watching the dance of distant suns before speaking. "My people believe that stars are the embodiment of pure energy, pure creation," she said. "We once worshipped them as gods. Now we merely study their composition and life cycle." Lisa looked at her. The patterns on the princess's skin seemed to mirror the stars above, moving in slow hypnotic waves. "What changed?" "We did," answered Alara. "We decided that wonder was inefficient, that awe was primitive, that worship was illogical. We chose knowledge over feeling, understanding over experiencing. And we have become hollow because of it." She turned to Lisa, her silver eyes reflecting starlight. "Tell me how you see the stars." Lisa looked up at the vast canvas of space. Unlike the princess, she had no special connection to the stars. She was a scientist who understood their physics, but she was also human. "When I look at the stars," she said, "I feel small and large at the same time. Small because the universe is so vast and we are so tiny. Large because somehow we are here able to comprehend it all. I feel wonder, fear, hope, loneliness, connection all at once. It's overwhelming sometimes." The princess moved closer. "I wish to feel that," she whispered. "Will you help me?" Before Lisa could answer, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Captain," Foster's voice came over the comm system. "All personnel to emergency stations. We have an unidentified ship approaching at high velocity." Lisa led Princess Alara quickly back to the main deck where chaos had erupted. Officers rushed to their stations as the view screen showed a massive vessel approaching. Its design was angular, aggressive, with weapons ports clearly visible. "That's a Vorshan warship," said Commander Wilson. "They shouldn't be in this sector." The Vorshans were a militaristic species known for their territorial aggression. They had clashed with Earth forces several times over boundary disputes. but a fragile treaty had been established years ago. Captain Foster stood at the command center, her face grim. "They are hailing us," she said. "Put them through." The screen flickered to show a Vorshan commander. His skin was gray and leathery, his eyes small and dark, set in a face that seemed permanently scowling. "Humans," he growled. "You dare to make deals with the Zeltarians." "Are you all right?" Lisa asked, holding the princess, who felt suddenly light-fragile. The princess nodded slowly. "The device draws on my own emotional capacity," she explained. "It is taxing, but not dangerous." Captain Foster ordered a security team to keep an eye on the Vorshan vessel, which now drifted in space, its crew seemingly in emotional turmoil. "What exactly did you do to them?" she demanded. Princess Ilara steadied herself. "The Vorshans were once like us," she said. "Centuries ago they chose the same path we did. They suppressed their emotions, seeing them as weakness, but unlike us, they did not store their emotions. They simply blocked them. All Vorshan children undergo a procedure that inhibits emotional development. What I did was temporarily disable that technology, so they are feeling emotions for the first time," asked Commander Wilson. "Not the first time," said the princess, "but perhaps the first time in their adult lives. For many it will be overwhelming, terrifying even, but necessary." Lisa helped the princess to a seat. "Why necessary?" Ilara looked up at her. "Because the Vorchans have become increasingly aggressive, increasingly dangerous. Their lack of emotion has not made them more rational, as they believed. It has made them cold, calculating, willing to destroy anything that threatens their power. They needed to remember what it means to feel fear, yes, but also compassion." The communication screen activated again, showing the Vorshan commander. His face was wet with tears, but he seemed more composed than before. "Princess Ilara," he said, his voice hoarse. We request assistance. Our crew is not prepared for this." The princess nodded. "We will send medical teams," she said, "and counselors. This transition will not be easy, but we will help you through it." After the communication ended, Captain Foster turned to Princess Ilara. "You knew this would happen," she said. "You planned for this confrontation." The princess shook her head. "No, Captain. But we knew it might happen. The Vorshans have been following our diplomatic missions for some time. They fear what might come from an alliance between Zeltarians and humans. They fear the return of emotion to the galaxy." The next few days were chaotic. Teams from the Zeltarian vessel boarded the Vorshan ship, helping the crew cope with their newly awakened emotions. Many were overwhelmed, some violent, others catatonic, but some, especially the younger crew members, adapted quickly, rediscovering feelings. Long-buried Lisa worked alongside Princess Ilara, treating the Vorshan crew. The princess seemed different now, more open, more expressive. The patterns on her skin no longer moved in the slow, controlled waves Lisa had first observed, but in rapid, vibrant pulses that seemed to match her mood. "You are changing," Lisa observed as they finished treating a young Vorshan engineer. The princess touched her own face, where the patterns swirled in new configurations. "I am," she admitted. "Being around humans around you specifically has accelerated a process that was already beginning. Our council had already decided that our path was leading to extinction. We need to reclaim what we lost. But we feared it. The Vorshans showed us what happens when emotion is completely suppressed. We did not want to make the opposite mistake, allowing emotion to overwhelm reason." As they walked the corridors of the Vorshan ship, Lisa noticed the changes. The once Spartan military vessel was being transformed. The crew had begun decorating their quarters, creating art. For the first time, music could be heard where before there had been only silence. One young Vorshan female approached them shyly. She held out a crude drawing made with what appeared to be maintenance supplies. I made this," she said, her voice uncertain. "It is the first thing I have ever created." Princess Ilara took the drawing with reverence. "It is beautiful," she said. "What does it represent?" The Vorshan looked down. "It is how I feel now," she whispered. Like a storm inside, but also like light breaking through clouds. Lisa watched as Princess Ilara embraced the young Vorshan. A gesture that would have been unthinkable days before physical contact between species was rare. Emotional connection even rarer. Yet here it was happening. Before her eyes back. On the celestial dawn, Captain Foster received a transmission from Earth Command. They had been monitoring the situation and were concerned. The sudden change in Vorshan behavior was unprecedented, unpredictable, potentially dangerous, the Admiralty. Is worried, Foster told Lisa. This could destabilize the entire sector if the Vorshan Empire suddenly undergoes an emotional awakening. Their military controls dozens of systems. Lisa thought about the changes she had witnessed. Is stability always the most important thing, she asked? Or is it possible that some disruption is necessary for growth? Foster had no answer. As a military officer, she valued order, stability, predictability. But as a human, she understood that progress often came through upheaval, through change. Later that evening, Princess Ilara invited Lisa to her quarters aboard the Zeltarian vessel. The room was spare, beautiful, with living crystal formations that responded to the princess's presence, glowing softly as she moved. Wanted to show you something, said the princess. She gestured to a wall which became transparent, revealing a chamber beyond, filled with swirling, multicolored energy. What is it? Lisa asked, mesmerized by the swirling colors. That is our emotional repository, said Princess Ilara. The collected emotions of generations of Zeltarians, stored, preserved, but never experienced. Lisa stared in awe. It looks like a galaxy, she whispered. The princess nodded. In a way, it is a galaxy of feeling. Each light, each color represents emotions from one of my ancestors. Joy, sorrow, love, fear, hope, despair, all preserved like insects in amber. Why show me this? Because I want you to understand what we are asking of humans, said the princess. We do not merely want you to teach us how to feel. We want you to help us reconnect with what we stored away. We Zeltarians cannot simply evolve emotions again in a single generation, but we can learn to accept them, to integrate them slowly. The princess touched the transparent wall with one long blue finger. When I touched your hand that first day, I felt something I had never experienced before. Not just your emotions, but a resonance with my own suppressed feelings. It was as if you awakened something that had been sleeping. Lisa thought about the enormous responsibility the princess was describing. Humans would not just be teaching aliens about emotions, they would be helping reshape an entire civilization. The next morning, an emergency meeting was called. The Vorshan High Command had learned of their ship's situation and were sending a battle fleet to investigate. Captain Foster looked grim as she shared the news. How much time? Do we have? Asked Commander Wilson. 12 hours at most, said Foster. They are coming with 5 warships, assuming the worst. Princess Ilara stood calmly. This was always a possibility, she said. My council has been prepared for this moment for decades. What will you do? Asked Lisa. The princess looked at each human in turn, then back to Lisa. We will offer them the same choice we offered the crew of the first ship, a return of what they have lost. But an entire battle fleet, objected Foster. That crystal device nearly exhausted you with just one ship. The princess smiled, a gesture she had clearly been practicing. We have been preparing for this moment for longer than your species has been traveling among the stars. Captain, we have the means. As the Vorshan fleet approached, tension mounted on both ships. The Zeltarian vessel moved into position between the celestial dawn and the incoming fleet, a protective gesture that surprised the human crew. Princess Ilara requested permission to board the foe human ship one last time, bringing with her the crystal device and several of her counselors. Lisa met her in the docking bay. You don't have to protect us, she told the princess. Ilara touched Lisa's face gently, her fingers trembling slightly at the contact. But I want to, she said. That is the difference. I am choosing to act based on what I feel, not just what is logical. And what I feel is that you humans are precious. Your emotional capacity is a gift to the galaxy, one worth protecting. The Vorshan fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel, their massive ships dwarfing both the human and Zeltarian vessels. Their weapons powered up immediately, targeting systems locked. A Vorshan admiral appeared on screen, his face stern. Your ships are in violation of Vorshan space, he declared. Return our vessel and surrender the Zeltarian royalty. Immediately, Captain Foster started to respond, but Princess Ilara stepped forward. "I wish to address the Admiral," she said. The Vorchan leader looked at her, with contempt. "What trickery are you planning, Princess?" he sneered. "We know what you did to our scout ship." "No trickery, Admiral," said the princess. "Only truth. Only choice." She activated the crystal device, which began to pulse with energy. "I offer you what I offered them. A return of what was taken from you, what you have taken from yourselves. The choice is yours." The Admiral laughed. "You think we will fall for the same trap? It is not a trap," said the princess. "It is a gift. But unlike with your scout ship, I will not force it upon you. I merely offer a sample enough for you to decide." Before the Admiral could respond, the device pulsed once, sending a wave of energy through space. The Admiral gasped, his face changing as the wave hit him. For just a moment his stern features softened, his eyes widened in wonder. What was that?" he whispered. "A memory," said the princess. "A feeling. Perhaps your first laugh, perhaps your mother's love, perhaps wonder at seeing the stars for the first time. I cannot know which emotions resonate most strongly with you, but you felt it, didn't you?" The Admiral touched his face as if it belonged to someone else. I felt. That is only a fraction," said Princess Ilara. "A drop in an ocean of feeling that was taken from your people. If you destroy us, you will never know the full spectrum of what you have lost. You will continue as you have, cold, efficient, and ultimately hollow." The bridge fell silent as the Admiral struggled visibly with the brief emotional experience. There are other ways," he said finally, his voice uncertain. "Yes," said the princess. "There are always other ways." 3 months later, Lisa stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned embassy ship Aurora. The vessel had been designed by human and Zeltarian engineers, together a symbol of their alliance. It would travel between Earth and Zeltaria, carrying diplomats, scientists, artists, and teachers. Princess Ilara joined her, watching as the ship prepared to depart for its maiden voyage. The patterns on the princess's skin now moved freely, expressing her emotions without restraint. "The Vorshan Empire has requested joining our emotional reclamation program," she said. "Their High Council voted unanimously after the Admiral's report." Lisa smiled. "That's wonderful news. How many worlds does that make?" "Now 17, said the princess. 17 species who have chosen to reclaim their emotional heritage. Some who suppressed it like we did, others who simply never developed it. Fully all now. Looking to humans as teachers, Lisa watched as a group of human artists boarded the ship. Musicians, painters, writers, dancers, all volunteers in what was being called the greatest cultural exchange in human history. "Will it work?" she asked. "Do you really think humans can teach the galaxy how to feel?" Princess Ilara took Lisa's hand, no longer trembling at the contact, but still clearly moved by it. "I do not know," she said, "but I believe it is worth trying. The alternative is to continue, as we have species advancing technologically but stunted emotionally, growing in power but not in wisdom, in compassion, in love." She looked out at the stars, her silver eyes reflecting their light. For thousands of years, galactic civilization has valued only certain kinds of advancement: speed, efficiency, power. But you humans have shown us there is another way, a path where emotion and reason walk together, where art and science enhance each other, where the heart and mind are not enemies, but partners. Lisa squeezed the princess's hand, feeling the connection between them. Not just physical, but emotional. A bridge between worlds, between ways of being. The Aurora's engines hummed as it prepared to depart, carrying its precious cargo of human emotion out to the waiting stars.